Let's take this old tank and make it new for under $100. But Mr. Hillbilly won't be alone this time. He will have friends. The budget is $100 and I will complete this task 3 steps. Step 1, get a tank. Step 2, hardscape. Step 3, add plants. So let's go to Facebook Marketplace and see if we can find a tank. And bingo. I was able to talk them down to $25. And it has this dividing wall inside to separate the water from the land. But the tank didn't always look like this when I got it. It had water stains and scratches everywhere. It was bad. So I decided to sand it, starting with 60 grit and working my way up. But now I just have this cloudy glass, and I'm not sure how to fix it. I was told cerium oxide will polish it out. But this process took hours. But in the end, the final product was worth it. With step 1 complete, we can start the hardscape. I have this half-empty bottle of spray foam, and I know it's not gonna be enough, so I bought another one. I placed 2 planters in here to hold up my tree branches and to plant plants. Then a moth kamikazed himself into the wet foam. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm not getting you. Sorry, moth, but you are now part of the background. Once the foam was done, I went and bought some silicone. And I'm using some leaves from my yard and these nuts and some fresh mulch from my garden. Now this really looks cool like this. It reminds me of the Shire from The Hobbit. Now that it's dry and flipped over, we can start the substrate. I'm just using dirt from my backyard, then covering that with some play sand from my kid's sandbox. This will keep the soil from floating to the top, kind of like a cap. Now, which rocks should I use? I have gray and I have tan. They both look really nice, but for an African tank, I think I'm going to have to go with gray. Now to do this side, it needs a staircase for the frog to get in and out of the water. Now that both sides are finished, I need to cap the top and make it all look pretty. Some of the plants I poached from Hillbilly's old tank. You can see here that the majority of them died. And these ones are too big, so I need to buy more. 5 gallons of gas and a speeding ticket, but I made it to Lowe's on time for their plant sale. And they were $1. And for good reason, they just break in half. So I'm gonna put 1/2 in here, and the other half is gonna go over here to die with his friends. These tropical seeds were only 50 cents, but I don't have very high hopes for them. I then decided to do a water test and check for leaks before I went too far and added rocks and sand, and it doesn't leak, thank God. But this is an eyesore. There we go. And with that, step 3 is complete. So far we have spent $57.50, and we still have $47.50 left to go. So I bought this hanging light and made a glass lid. And I was feeling good, so I went and bought a pump for a water feature. And then I took this scrap tubing and I covered it in silicone, then mashed some mulch into it, and this should make it look like a vine. And now we have a water wall. So yeah, I went a little over budget, but the end result is absolutely amazing. And now for the video product review. Brought to you by NewNet, an Amazon store full of cool stuff, like this bird feeder security camera they sent me. You screw it into the wall, then attach it to the mount, and add this thingy to it. The top opens up and then you put your favorite bird food in. It's solar powered and the camera is waterproof. Now open the app and watch all the birds up close in 1080p. My whole family absolutely loves this thing. Not only is it a security camera with an alarm system, but if you press this button, it can identify more than 10,000 species of birds, as well as take you to a page giving you more info on that particular bird. You guys will love this one. I'll put a link down in the description. Now let's add some critters to this tank. I went with roly-polies, cockroaches, springtails, and of course, the black beetle. I have never done a tank without a black beetle. But this ain't a BBC, this is an LBC. Yeah, you know me. I'm not sure why I'm so fascinated with these beetles, but they are entertaining to watch. And now it's time to wake up my frog. Knock, knock. Anybody home? Come on out now. It's been 6 months. People want to see you. Don't worry, buddy. I'm gonna get you. This is Mr. Hillbilly, the channel mascot. And boy has he grown. When I first got him, he was the size of a quarter and struggled to eat the little cockroaches. But cockroaches are not a problem anymore. But now, there is no telling what he could eat. And we will test what he can eat in a minute, because right now it's time to add a friend. Do you guys remember Morpheus? And he can't climb a tree to save his life. Since Amphibia, Morpheus has become a very friendly pet. And always likes being close to me and doesn't know when to get out of the way. So I'm going to give him a housewarming gift. A giant worm. He quickly stumbles to the worm, but his eyesight is terrible, so he relies on the smell of his nose. Once he grabs a hold of the worm, it becomes a rough battle of trying to swallow it before the worm wiggles away. And to show who's boss, he lets out a roar. Then he retreats to his mud hole, but he wasn't the only friend we added in here. I also added Crush, the snapping turtle. These three will become best of friends. Now let's see what Hillbilly can eat. I'm starting off with a mealworm. And he seems to like that. Then I gave him a giant worm. He didn't seem to want it at first, but once he tasted it, he changed his mind. Unlike Morpheus, Hillbilly can push the worm with his hands. Here's a slow-mo of a mealworm. And I'm sorry to everyone who just had a seizure from that flickering light, but the worms gave him enough energy to do a belly flop into the pond, where he started to hunt down crickets. He was doing so good, I decided to give him a frozen mouse. And he ate it like it was nothing. I'm starting to think this frog can eat everything and anything. Well, maybe not everything. I really hope Mr. Hillbilly enjoys his new home with his new friends. Make sure to subscribe. Love y'all.